So I'll call the meeting to order. Hope you guys are all enjoying the 90-degree weather and all the pollen. So first off the bat, want to put a motion in to approve last meeting's minutes.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Hi, Eric.
Hi,
Aye.
Lisa.
Aye, Matt.
And I just want to throw out that those were great minutes. Thank you, Shelby. They were really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thanks. I want to make sure that they're useful to us for our record keeping and on our collective memory. And it's not really about the public record. It's really for us to work with.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was really great. It was really helpful to look back and see everything laid out so neat and organized.
Great.
Please apologize. I'm working with two screens here, so if I'm looking over to my left, I'm looking at another computer. But first off the bat, I wanted to bring up Ken's updated report, which we asked for, where we had him lay out all of the trees, and have your guys' thoughts on that.
It's good. I think it's very detailed. And in looking at application for suppression funding from USDA, I think everything we need is in that report.
Okay.
So it'll be very useful.
So that being said, if we have the updated report and the original report, then all I think we have to do is
Frozen cocktail.
Darn.
Does someone want to try calling Matthew? He's frozen, both video and looks like audio too. You might need to re-log in.
I want to put a motion in.
I don't know if I have his number.
Oh, you're back. Matt, you were frozen. And now you're muted.
I apologize. I did not hear what happened after I said that.
You froze pretty much as quickly as soon as you started
Your
talking.
video
after
and
we started.
audio froze for about 2 minutes.
Oh, good. So what I was saying was, that being said, if there's nothing else to discuss with the report, then I want to put a motion in that we certify it so we can send it to the select board. So we can move forward with the Ice Glen.
I second.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Hi, Eric.
Lisa.
Aye, Matt. All
So
right.
I have a related question.
Mhm.
I sent the email from Dave Musil, he's the person Ken had said to contact. Did that get to the Agricultural Commission email? Because I didn't see it there. I didn't know if I should be emailing it to everybody separately.
Did anyone see it? I think I saw it on the
You did see it?
on
Okay.
the town emails.
Okay, I didn't see it. So I'm going to try to find out more information. The person that replaced Ken sent me her cell phone number to talk. I just haven't reached her yet, but I want to find out more information about how we apply for that funding.
Which funding is that?
This is the, Ken had mentioned suppression funding from USDA. And I emailed two people. The woman, Nicole, said it's really competitive. And then Dave said it's pretty easy. So
Well,
I don't know which is true.
I think the guy that runs the program used to work for the DEP, or one of the mass divisions, and he got hired by the Fed. So I think Ken thinks that it's easy for us.
Yeah, the application looked pretty simple.
Okay. Yeah, Lisa, if you just confirm and maybe send it again, I'll make sure that it is actually in the town emails and everyone gets it.
Okay, thank you.
Because I do remember seeing it. I just have to find it.
Okay.
Okay, so moving along. In today's email, I also put forward another document I found doing research just on management guidance, the most updated management guidance from the Forest Service about woolly adelgid from 2020. Just wanted to put it in there so we can look at it and read through it as a potential starting point. And that's pretty much what the document says it's trying to do, is be a starting point for people managing culturally important areas of hemlocks. So didn't know if anyone had a chance to look through it. It is a long document, but your thoughts would be good. Lisa?
I didn't, I apologize. I didn't look at it yet, but I have a question related to that.
Yeah.
There's so much adelgid on the Mary Flynn Trail, in that whole area. So I being new to Stockbridge, I don't know who owns what. Does the town own Mary Flynn too, or what? Who owns Laurel? What does Laurel Hill own, and what does the town own?
We have a permit.
I can explain.
Okay.
So that if you cross the Goodrich Memorial Bridge,
Yeah.
The first thing you're crossing is actually a little bit of land that is owned by the railroad. So the railroad owns a few feet on each side of the track. You're walking. So when you turn to the left and you're on the Mary Flynn Trail, very soon you leave town property and enter Laurel Hill Association property.
Okay.
If you continue up toward the Ice Glen, you're on town property until you get to a point where you turn left to go toward Laura's Tower. And at a point along that trail, you leave town property again and go on to Laurel Hill Association property. The GIS map actually is pretty good at pinpointing that if you know how to use that.
And how about the trail behind Town Hall?
Oh, Laurel Hill Park. Yeah, that's once you basically step off of the parking lot, you're on Laurel Hill Association property.
There's so much adelgid in there. The trees don't look bad, but it's probably coming. So in terms of treatment, shouldn't Laurel Hill know what's going on with this?
I'm sure Shelby, you have too, but I reached out to Hillary, who is Shelby's replacement, president of Laurel Hill, as well as Vice President Mark Seegers and one of the board members, Pat Flynn, last week, and offered to brief them. It strikes me though, just listening to this conversation, it might be far better for your group to brief them on what our plans are than me individually. So, I don't know. My suggestion would be though that the select board created a gift account. So there, if we were to look at, that when you look at that sort of mountain and Laurel Hill together, you've got a big parcel owned by the state, which is Beartown. You've got the town-owned parcel with Ice Glen, and then you've got the Laurel Hill parcels, on that side of the mountain too. And I believe that all of us should work together to try to save as many of these trees as possible, with the idea of then trying to get the etymology funding that Lisa's talking about from the USDA. So, you know, we did do a gift account. I know we got at least one donation of $500 before. And I think that, you know, once, if and when town meeting approves the money that you recommended on Saturday, I think that, at least personally, I want to start to really try to augment that with additional fundraising from private sources.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, my concern is saving the trees, but also if we treat those trees, but there's still adelgid everywhere, it's, you know, it's still not going to be good.
There's thousands of acres of adelgid just in this town. You know, really, I think that the reason you treat is because, like I think like Matt said, there's a cultural. Yeah, you choose which trees you can save. Is the bottom line. You know, and I think that the ones along our trails and that have historical significance are the ones that are going to get chosen. And unfortunately, many of them won't be saved.
Right. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Who's Matt again?
So Lisa, if you want to get in touch with Laurel Hill Association, probably there are a couple of email addresses and phone numbers, and I think rather than put them in the minutes, well, I don't know, how should I, what's the proper way for me to get this? I'm sorry, Patrick, your audio is kind of funky.
Just call each other. That's not a quorum.
Okay, fair enough.
But it sounds like you already did, Patrick.
I did, and I'm friendly with all the ones I talked to, and I can refer them. Why don't you guys decide how you want to do the outreach, and then get in touch with me, and I'll make the introduction, or Shelby can, either one.
Or can we also, an alternative, just invite them to a meeting?
Yeah.
So they can just talk to all of us? Okay. Who would do that?
As Virgil said, fortune favors the bold.
Does that mean you want to do it?
Anybody wants to do it, just do it.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, just so we know who's doing it.
Like, I'm just waiting for Matt to come back. I think we lost him again.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, I want to give Matt a chance to see if he wants to do it as the chair, or if it matters to him.
Hey, has Matt been trying to get in? Oh, there he is.
He's not connected to audio.
Huh.
Maybe you should try calling him, Patrick. He could call in on a phone too.
Oh, there he is.
But no audio.
Wait, I don't know now.
I am sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Matthew, you're still freezing up a bit. Maybe you should call on your audio and do it by telephone.
We need to get better broadband out there.
Whole town needs. Are you on the?
Please, someone catch.
Yeah. Patrick, you wanted to ask him to call in by telephone?
Sure.
I think the hot weather is upsetting everything.
Hey, Steve says you might want to just try dialing in. All right. We got it. He said he was going to do that.
Thank you.
Hey, so listen, I've been hearing, as just an aside, I've been hearing a couple of unfounded rumors. You know, sometimes, Stockbridge being Stockbridge, whatever. If anybody asks, I personally compared the right to farm bylaw with the state model bylaw, and it is an exact match, word for word. And anybody who suggests that it was sort of edited for one purpose or another, that's just not accurate. It is simply the state model bylaw with the insert town here area replaced with Stockbridge, and that was the only change. And I personally confirmed that actually over the weekend. So, yeah, for what it's worth.
Good to know.
Okay, as vice chairman, I'm going to take over the meeting. We have a quorum. Shelby, you do good minutes, so Matt will get caught up. Next on the agenda is Lisa with the Old Growth Forest Network for Ice Glen.
Do we just first want to decide who will contact Laurel Hill?
All right.
Or ask Matt if he wants to do it when we reach him?
Okay.
Okay.
So Lisa, you're up.
Okay, Old Growth Forest Network. I think it came to the town a few years ago, right, Shelby, to try to get the designation.
Yeah.
Was there, and I know it was not approved. Was there a reason, or what, do you know the rationale for not approving?
Yes.
Okay.
When we brought it to the select board, Terry Flynn said that he did not want to do anything that would bring more visitors to the town.
Okay.
And that he didn't want the Ice Glen to become like Monument Mountain. And at least one other select board member, possibly Chuck, I don't recall, but somebody else agreed with them, and so it got voted down.
Okay. Well, I guess I would start with the commission, and I had sent Matt a letter from the Old Growth Forest Network explaining who they were, what they did. There's no money involved. It's basically a designation, and I think that you have to agree to not do any commercial timber harvesting, which I can't imagine would happen at Ice Glen anyway. But it's a designation. Myself and Bob Leverett are coordinators for Berkshire County, and we picked Ice Glen as a possible candidate. So I think having been at Ice Glen a fair amount, there's people there. I don't know that this designation is going to, this is not a high profile designation. The network has not a lot of members, and the people that are members are really respectful of old growth forests. It just adds another layer of protection. So I would like to see us try again, but I would like to hear how, how other people feel about it.
Excuse me, when you say no commercial logging, if some of those trees need to be taken down
Yep.
for safety reasons,
Mhm.
Hello?
that would be commercial.
I think management would not be considered commercial logging, but I would have to ask that. I would
No,
ask.
oh, it's definitely not. I went through this with them
Okay.
at the time. Yeah, I mean, commercial logging means really like commercial logging, not just, if you have to take something down for management and you want to sell the wood, that's
Okay,
by and large, if you took something down, chances are you're not going to sell the wood anyway, but that's secondary.
Given that it's an old growth forest, the reason it's an old growth forest, the main reason is because they couldn't do logging in there because it was too hard to get in there and to get the trees out. So I can't imagine that would happen.
no, I'm just, Shelby answered my question.
Okay.
You can manage it. Okay. Is Matt back?
Yes, he's called in. You could try his audio.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
Please, if someone wants to just fill me in and catch me up.
Lisa, I think last year we were talking about Lisa said that Willie the Elgid is all over the Lower Hill Association properties.
Yep.
And that they should be informed. Patrick said he had notified Hillary Dealey, the president, last week, and he recommended that we reach out to them. And Lisa suggested that we invite Laurel Hill members to one of our meetings to discuss, some kind of overall approach to these contiguous forests. So we left it at, who's going to do that. We thought we should see, do you want to do that? Reach out to them as the chair, or do you care? Do you want somebody else to do it?
Unless anyone has personal connections, I can do it.
Okay. Well, I was the president until the end of December, so I'm happy to. I know how to reach out to everybody there.
Then that'd be great if you took that, Shelby.
Okay, and I'll copy. I'll do it from the town email so that there's a record, and I'll copy the rest of the commission.
And I'll make sure that, if you just keep me informed so that the next meeting, or if it is the next meeting, they want to come, we can put it on the agenda.
And then Patrick just mentioned that he had confirmed today that the right to farm bylaw that we're using is an exact match word for word with the state model bylaw, with the only change being that we got Stockbridge in there replacing your town here. And then Lisa was talking about the Old Growth Forest Network, asked why the designation was not approved by the select board when it came up a few years ago. And I said that it was because a couple of selectmen didn't want a whole lot of new visitors showing up and turning Ice Glen into another monument mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa said, let's try again. There are no costs involved, and the only requirement is that the town promise that we do not do commercial logging.
Mm-hmm.
And maintenance logging is okay, but commercial is not.
Gotcha.
So Matt, I had sent you that letter.
Yep.
Did that get to other members?
That should be in the email that just says additional information for the meeting. If you're looking at your town email.
Okay.
That would be useful, wouldn't it?
Before you move on, has someone filled out the forest management plan grant with the state?
I didn't hear all of that.
Has anybody filled out the forest management plan grant, one-page application from the state to get the $1,000 grant or whatever it is to do a forest management plan for Ice Glen?
I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing, because I don't know if there's something that is literally called Forest Management Plan. The plan that we applied for with Laurel Hill Association is a Forest Stewardship Plan. And that, so I just want to be careful about the wording, just in case there actually is something different.
My lack of familiarity, Shelby, but some of the grants that we could go after do require a forest stewardship plan in place. So my suggestion is that, that maybe the commission, multi-track this and make sure that we apply for that grant and get one in place. I think Ken has written most of it, in that document, but I think that's a sort of format. You would know better, Shelby.
Yeah, but that's on the agenda. And Lisa's going to talk about that. So let's wrap up the old growth forest stuff and then get to that.
Yeah, to stay with the old growth forest, do we need to make a motion to move to the select board for approval?
I would
probably
believe
do.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that I'll ask the Old Growth Forest Network to send a letter to the select board, and that that we say the Agriculture and Forest Commission is in favor of designating Ice Glen in the Old Growth Forest Network.
I second that.
Do I say all in favor?
And I guess I should probably say that. I don't know, but I'll say all in favor. Say aye.
Aye, Eric.
Hi, Lisa.
Aye, Matt.
Okay, so we'll move it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So Shelby is right. Moving on to the stewardship grants. And Lisa, if you want to talk, go ahead.
I'm certainly in favor of stewardship grants, but I guess I want some sense of what we're applying for and what we would do, and what needs to be done. So I don't know if people are clear about what we would be asking for in these grants, especially at Ice Glen. I'm really wary of management in old growth forests, except for the very simplest tasks. So, Shelby, you had mentioned that Jess had brought this up, Jess Toro.
Yeah, she suggested to me last year regarding the Laurel Hill Association properties, and I went through. I talked to the state person, and I also talked to the forester who we lined up for it, and basically, the landowner tells the forester what their goals are. So it's not. That's why it's a stewardship plan, not a management plan, and that's why that's one reason I really like being careful about the wording, because it's the forester isn't there to tell us how to manage the forest. The forester is there to walk the forest, find all of the both natural and man-made things that are in there that are important features, and things that matter that we should know about, and then give us a stewardship plan that meets our goals. So, for example, with Laurel Hill Association, we got a stewardship plan for the property that Laurel's Tower is on, and we got one. We got a half a dozen of them, and in each of those cases, we said our goals are, ecological diversity, long-term stability, recreational use, in minimal recreation use in various ways, and we said what kind of recreation use, things like that. And so the plan reflects those goals. And we said we're not going to harvest trees. We're never going to harvest trees, and so the plan doesn't recommend it.
So did you walk the property first to get a sense of what should be included in the plan, in the stewardship grant?
Well, we knew our properties pretty well, so we didn't have to walk them with the forester. I think I did a little bit of walking with the forester, but not much. Mostly, we just talked about what was there that we knew about, that we cared about. And then the forester walked them really, really closely, and part of the plan is a map that he created. And actually, I think about it, the plans were delivered after I left the board. I think I actually was copied on a couple of them, but I thought, I'm not on the board anymore, I won't read them. But I've got them. And I don't think I'd be allowed to share them. I'm not sure. I doubt I can. But we could certainly ask the current board if they would share one, like especially if they would share the one for the property that the Laurel's Tower trail is on, because that's contiguous with Ice Glen.
Yep.
And it shares some of the same issues. It would be really interesting to see if they could share, if they would be willing to let us, take a look at it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So maybe, Shelby, and I'm assuming this is the same board. If you're reaching out to come to the meeting, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So if you reach out, maybe include that so that maybe they could come and share that with us at their next meeting, and we could discuss all of it together.
That sounds great.
Mhm. Okay, good.
And to be clear, just so we're all on the same page, we're thinking, is any of this going to be included with, or not interchangeable, but connected to the suppression funding?
I don't think.
Or is this are we gonna think of this as just completely two separate grants?
Yeah, the suppression funding.
Okay.
Where I understand it would be just for treatment of the pests. It wouldn't be any sort of, I think it's gonna be that specific.
Gotcha. Does it make sense that when we are doing the stewardship grants to think about long-term management of the woolly adelgid, of putting in there, or do we not even consider that right now? For the stewardship grants, that being.
Well, I think we ought to tell the forester that that's one of our concerns for him to
Okay.
to be aware of as he does the plan, and it would undoubtedly,
Yeah.
and I think we should give him the plan. I mean, the report that we've already got.
Gotcha.
And also, I think it would be worthwhile to look at other forests in town that the town owns and see are there any other properties, town-owned properties that are large enough that they would qualify for a grant. I think they need to be over 11 acres or something, or 18 acres. Yeah. Well, maybe it's only 9, but anyway, they have to be, not real teeny. But there may be other town-owned forests that just would be good for us to get stewardship plans for, just to have on hand.
So kind of related to what you're saying, Matt, and I had meant to ask in this, but I didn't. I don't know if the adelgid is less intense if a stand is more diverse. If pretty intense in Ice Glen, partly I think because of the high concentration of hemlocks. But it'd be interesting to know if there were more diverse species there, if that is something that would cut down on the adelgid. That you might want to consider a stewardship plan that had some plantings.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't, and that's, I think, one, I think that the document I shared with y'all from the integrated pest management from the Forest Service. I think it has a lot of information about that in terms of density of the hemlocks, and they go into the biological controls, and having a healthy stand definitely, I would assume, includes biodiversity and making sure that we have a good succession on the forest. Because I think you were talking about this, Lisa. I'd love to schedule somehow this summer a site visit with everybody, and make it a meeting somehow, make it accessible, and go see it, and then come back and talk maybe at town hall, so we can actually look at what is in there and what is the cultural other aspects that we want to put into a forestry stewardship plan, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do that before we actually even.
Right.
So we can just see what's going on here. I agree.
Does anyone have anything else about the stewardship grant right now?
No, other than either at this meeting or the next meeting, let's try to schedule a time to actually get out there so we can start the process.
Yeah. So let's just touch on that right now. Scheduling for a site visit. What generally do people? What times are people generally available? I know for me, it's weekends, but I want to hear from you guys. What you guys are available?
Sunday mornings are good for me.
Anyone else? Anyone? Wish I could see everybody right now.
You can schedule it pretty much any time for me.
Anytime. Okay. So if we're looking at a calendar, it's June 7th, and technically, and I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead about confirming the next meeting date. Technically, our next first Monday is Independence Day, or right after Independence Day. Would people want to try to schedule a site visit for maybe the weekend after that, July 10th? Or excuse me, July 11th, you said Sunday, Lisa.
Yeah, Sunday would be better for me. That's fine with me.
Eric?
Yeah,
Okay, July 11th. And what time is good for you, Lisa?
Did we lose Shelby?
No, I just, since I'm not voting, I thought I should stay
Oh.
stay
Well, you
quiet,
can
but.
come on a site visit.
Well,
though.
Yeah,
I would love to.
come, Shelby.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Is
Yeah, that would work for me, sure.
Okay.
Okay, Sunday morning, yep.
The earlier the better for me, but anytime in the morning is fine.
How do people like 8 a.m.? Too early, too late,
too early.
Too early.
too early?
I'm retired. I don't get up at 5 in the morning to catch a train into Boston anymore.
I didn't, I was trying to, halfway between 5 and 11. So, what about 10?
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
10 a.m. Okay. And I will work out logistics to make sure that it is a open meeting and accessible. So, and I'll talk to Michael. There might be some restrictions about discussion when we're out there. From what I understand, we'll have to wait to discuss. We have to go out, look, observe, and then come back. Is there anyone else we would want to invite on this hike? That being Ken or anyone else, you might, not to the hike, but to the meeting, I guess. And we can obviously think about this, I think.
Mhm.
Okay. So July 11th, 10 a.m. So moving on, Lisa, you want to talk about Tree City?
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry to interrupt, Lisa. Have we
Oh, yeah.
signed off on the stewardship grant?
Yep.
Yes?
I believe, Shelby, please correct me if I'm wrong. We approved it last meeting, sent it to
Okay.
Michael and the select board. So now I think, actually, we should probably check in to make sure that the select board has seen it. I'm under the assumption they have. But now we just want to be very clear that we can, I think we're moving forward with it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone?
Well, yeah, the last meeting, the motion was approved to
Yeah.
for you to send the request to Michael.
Yeah.
To go on a select board agenda, but I haven't heard. Has it actually gotten onto a select board agenda? Has it been discussed there?
And because I sent it to him, so I will double check with them that it actually has gone in front of the board or the select board.
Hasn't so far, but we have a meeting. I can ask him to put it on the agenda for Thursday. It isn't already.
Yeah, the sooner the better. The money runs out at some point. So
Yeah.
Pension funding or for the town meeting money?
the stewardship plan matching, their grant money. They have a limited pot each year, and so basically they give out grants until they run out of money.
This group to pursue that grant. You don't need to go back to the select board for that because I had already asked permission and they already voted it. Already have
I'm sorry, Patrick, you're really cutting out a lot.
for the forest stewardship grant, you have already requested it on a previous agenda. 11 of them.
So if we do a site visit in early July and try to prioritize what we want in the stewardship grant, is that enough? Is that quick enough, Shelby? Will there still be money in July?
I think there's a good chance of it, and I'd be happy to call the guy who administers these, who I talked to last year, and tell him this is our plan, and will that work? And if he's have any concerns about it, and I will report back.
Okay. I mean, if not, we can try to get out there sooner.
Yeah. So if you reach out and then let us know and just so we can get it as a public meeting, I need 3 days notice. So I'm free any Sundays leading up to July 11th. But just let me know and we'll get the information to everyone if we have to move it up a bit. And I guess that being said too, if anyone gets out there before July 11th and starts poking around, I don't, but on your own, I'm assuming that's okay too. Which, start getting some ideas.
I guess my question is, why would we wait to apply for the grant? Because you're going to hire a forester, excuse me, to help you do that. I don't think you have to look at it to apply for a grant.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a very simple one page.
Yeah.
You don't even have to really give a rationale exactly. You just identify the property and how many acres it is, and pretty straightforward.
Okay, if that's the case, I'm not opposed to just getting it in there. And
Okay.
And
going out.
in case you couldn't hear me before, you have permission to, the select board already authorized me to apply for this grant. So it's not like, you need to go back to the select board to talk about the stewardship grant.
Okay,
All right. And then, so if Lisa, so if we're good and we don't feel like we have to go out right away, and we can go out once we get the money, Shelby and Lisa, are you guys okay with doing it, putting it together, and then we can vote on it and send it off?
okay, I'm
Sure.
fine.
Cool. All right. Okay, Tree City.
Tree City, I don't want to do anything with it yet. I just wanted to throw it out there. We applied for it in Great Barrington, and I think they've been a Tree City for 7 or 8 years. And there's real advantages. There's no money involved. It's a free application. It's a little, the application itself initially is pretty time consuming, but to renew it from not. And the advantages are, one, the designation puts you in better standing for any grants. Two, you become part of the network, and they send out a lot of good information. But for me, the most important thing was it gave you access to the DCR urban forester. And when I was on the Barrington Tree Committee, he came out a lot and was really helpful. She helped the tree warden set up iTree, which is the free software for tree identification, and it helped that to do a tree inventory. She also came out and helped us assess the emerald ash borer on town tree, and helped us curate, in terms of severity to treat, similar to what Ken did for the hemlocks, but it was all free, and she was very knowledgeable. So the requirements to do it are, you have to celebrate Arbor Day. You have to have at least one town meeting where they talk about trees, which with this commission, that's fine. You have to have a tree bylaw, which I think Chapter 87, which is state law, I think we can incorporate that. And I think that's it. So it's pretty straightforward, but I thought there were a lot of advantages to doing it. And I just wanted to throw it out at this meeting, but I think if it's something we want to pursue, we should do it at a future meeting. Maybe not the next one, but invite the tree warden to the meeting and see if there's interest in helping us do this.
I think that sounds great.
It's kind of a win-win. There's no real disadvantages to doing it.
But so there is an application process.
There's an application process, and the application's a lot of work. It's several pages, and there's a lot of detail, and just for the first year, and then from every year you have to renew it, and the renewal is not a big deal.
Gotcha.
With questions about how the town is caring for its trees, so you have to collect all that data.
Question, do they provide geospatial mapping of the trees?
I think it's been a while since I looked at the iTree software, but I think the iTree software, which is free, does that, I think. But you would want the tree warden to be on board, because it's it's urban trees, so you want the tree warden to be,
Mhm.
to do.
So the next meeting, I think we'll just talking this out with you guys. We'll hopefully Shelby will get in touch with the Laurel Hill Society. But what I'll do is I'll get in touch with the tree warden and try to get him a meeting so we can talk to him about it. Who is it officially now? Mark Faber.
Yeah, Mark Faber.
Okay. I will reach out to him.
Good, thank you.
No, thank you, Lisa, for bringing so much good questions today and good material. All right. Anyone else have any questions about the Tree City?
No, but
Status?
I did send a list of all parcels owned by the town of Stockbridge to the chat. So if anybody wants that, you can download it and you can see which ones are above the 11 acres for planting.
Okay.
So Shelby, we'll be in touch by phone to do the grant. Do you have my phone number?
See, no, I just realized that I don't have any phone numbers.
If
Can I put it in the chat? I'll just put it in the chat, yeah.
will you maybe send an email to, and I'll include mine on a chat chain, just because I'm unable to see the chat right now.
I can email it to you right now, Matt.
Thank you. All right, so that being said, if we're not doing a site visit on July 11th, as of right now, we'll apply for the grant and then schedule a time to go out there with the forester when we get the grant. Our next meeting technically falls on the day after Independence Day. Where am I here? So, do you guys want to meet after that on July 12th?
It's okay with me.
Fine with me.
July 12th, 6:30, still good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then at that meeting, Shelby, you will let me know what Laurel Hill says, and hopefully we can get them scheduled. Put them on the agenda.
And I think I'm allowed to just communicate information like that ahead of time without it being, as long as I'm not recommending anything, so I can just send an email to the commission once I talk to the folks at Laurel Hill to let you all know what they say.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure for the minutes then. So we're not going to do the site visit on July 11th after all.
We are not. I think we're just going to move forward with applying for the grant.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Hearing nothing else, I am going to put a motion that we adjourn.
Second, Eric.
All in favor?
Hi,
Aye.
Lisa.
Aye. Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a good night.